talk a bit about your own background and how do you see this announcement here at KubeCon with Nvidia is kind of fulfilling the prophecy in one way or the other?
Yeah, well, I joined VMware early days when VMware was really like dipping their toes with containers, and they were trying to figure out how to do containers. And then I led the Tanzu team for 7 years. And really, what we were seeing back then was like we have these huge Kubernetes clusters, and how do we share them across multiple teams, multiple views, multiple companies? And Kubernetes came up with this concept of namespaces, but like the name is called namespaces. They're not called team spaces or company spaces. So they were really meant for segregating simple. Because at the beginning, people were just building simple web apps. And so at Tanzu, we're like, well, that's not really a way you can segregate Kubernetes. You need to create multiple clusters. So we came up with TKG, and we came up with Cluster API to make it easier for people to create cluster on demand, and give every single team or company their own cluster. But that also created cluster sprawl and became like very expensive because we're really replicating full clusters. So I feel like now vCluster is taking that to the next level, where if I want to give people autonomy to do their own things, I don't need to replicate the full cluster. I can just take my control plane, put it in a pod, and still share my base cluster. So really, vCluster take what the work I was doing at Tanzu to the next level, make it more efficient, easy to share. And now with all the innovation that we have done through the summer, because the summer was really crazy, I think it was pushed by a lot of AI. We had to do a lot of innovation. We worked with Nvidia. Nvidia was working, trying to install Kubernetes into their own DGX platform. And like I said, Kubernetes was not ready for running on GPUs. And it was very rigid, it was very easy, very difficult to share. There was no way to move and create a flexible environment like people are now accustomed to, because you go to the cloud, you click a button, you get a cluster. You wait a few minutes, you get a cluster. And now I get my own multi-million-dollar system, and I cannot really do anything with it. I'm like super rigid. I create one cluster, and that's it. So all the work that we had done with Nvidia was really to make their platform super agile, super efficient, because they don't come. Like I think they ship like 40 of this platform a year. And so only 40 people in the world can actually get this platform. And once they have it, they want to share it because it's like super expensive. So how do you create all the components? How do you improve Kubernetes to make it easily shareable with a click of a button like you do it on the cloud? So yeah, that was super amazing. I just joined as vCluster was going through all these releases and all the different features. And we went from just doing the control plane on a pod to do network segmentation with integration with Netrix. We went to building like complete VPN across multiple cloud with Tailscale. We built our own Carpenter solution, so you can actually auto-scale, right-scale. If workloads increase, we can get bigger nodes. When they decrease, they get smaller. It's just amazing. And I think the amazing part of vCluster is like the team is really like delivering production-grade enterprise software, even just being a small startups. I never seen that before. I'm really impressed.
I mean, I've been covering vCluster when it was Loft Labs in the early days, when it just came out of existence. And the growth that I have seen of the company is incredible story of, you can talk about success stories of Kubernetes ecosystem. So that is really incredible. You're talking about there is only a certain amount of, like, we all love hardware because shiny, you can touch it, you can feel it. But the challenge is that it has its own, it's hardware, things are hard coded. It's not as fun as software. We can use that. And then also there's limited amount that you can get. It can get expensive. So can you also talk about, you did touch on that, but I just want to go a bit deeper into that, which is there is a shortage of GPUs, and Nvidia, of course, has to cater to the high-end customers who are living with it. How is vCluster helping kind of mitigate this problem of shortage through your technologies, the announcement that you also made here with them, so that I can use the word democratize it, so that more people can access those technologies?
Well, and what we built is really a way, and we focus on multi-tenancy at the Kubernetes layer. So then we can actually share the GPUs. Because the GPUs, the problem that they have is once a pod, a workload get attached to a GPU, that GPU and all the memory that is like gig of memory, not just a megabyte of memory, get assigned to that workload. There is no way to share it. Like you come in, you're like, no, it's 100% busy. You cannot do it. Even if that workload is not doing anything, it just locked this GPU for until he's done doing the work. So what vCluster made it easier for GPU to be shared across teams, and you can easily move them from one team to another. So you go from 20% utilization to 80% utilization, and that is like huge, because if you're considering you only have one system, you don't want one team to be able to use it. You want 100 teams to be able to use this super powerful machine. It's like you get a Ferrari, and usually Ferrari is one seat, and that's kind of what DGX is. It's like a big system, big expensive, super powerful, but one seat. Imagine vCluster is like adding 100 seats to that Ferrari, so everybody can go faster. So I think that is what we spend a lot of work. And since our technology was already built for sharing, adapted to the GPU, and that's really where the sharing is important. You want to be able to share these expensive resources. So that was pretty amazing, the work that the team has done. And then what the companies are doing now, there are also a lot of service providers that are buying these systems. And for them, sharing is even more important, because now they have to share it with their users. And you need to make sure that everything is segregated, not just the control plane, but networking, storage, policy, users. And that's all the innovation that we had through the summer. And we really create a spectrum so customer can choose. If you just share between a team, you're okay with just simple control plane isolation. If you share it between companies, then you want to go to full isolation, and everything in between, easily configurable.